Hi, this is Bentley Adams. I'm the founder and CEO of Way, and thank you for being here. And happy to give you a little bit of background on mindful eating and how we look at it. And I'll just start by saying the topic of mindful eating, it's about as broad as it gets. It's a big topic, and the reason why is because being mindful about what we eat is actually happening throughout our day. Whether we have little bits of consciousness or no consciousness at all about what we're eating, or maybe we're aware of the decision of what we ate, but then we're on the conversation, or we're working, or we're driving, or whatever. We may be losing or getting distracted or disconnected from actually what we're eating and how we're eating it. And I also want to point out that to us at Way, mindful eating, quote unquote, is not the technique from the 1990s that was fairly rigid in its performance, where you had to put a bite into your mouth and you needed to hold it in there and salivate and all those things. And those are all fine and great if that works for you 100%. Starting digestion in the mouth and all this stuff is fantastic. The way that we look at mindful eating, though, is mindful eating is the ability to be aware of what you're eating, decide while you're deciding what to eat, while you're actually doing it, and afterwards. How does it make your body feel? Do you have more energy, more mental clarity? Do you have better digestion? Do you have better sleep? These are all the kind of standard things you'll hear me say over and over again that are behind Way. There are a lot of different ways to be aware of and a lot of things to be aware of. And don't feel bad if you're not aware of something, or if you become aware of something later on and then you wish you would have before. And there's nothing to feel, again, bad or guilty or shame about. We only want to look at learning here. We want to look at expanding our ability to be conscious of what we're eating, why we're eating it, and ultimately listening to our body and aligning what we eat to what our values are, right? And so making aligning a way of living and eating into our values. That's really the long tail of intuitive eating. You'll hear me say this over and over and over again if you watch all of the videos on our website. It's a very important point to be made, though, because mindful eating really comes back down to, yes, you can eat anything. Intuitive eating is right in that regard. And it's actually just what our ancestors, our common human ancestors, have done for literally 2 to 3 million years that we know of, just since we started eating cooked food, right? And started to figure out how to make fire in order to create cooked food. This is something that's natural for us, is to eat what makes our body, what we believe will make our body feel good, which will give us the energy, the mental clarity that we need in order to be able to do what we need to do in life. And the body is the most intelligent, efficient system that we've ever studied. There's no scientist who's worth their salt that's going to debate that. And so when we talk about mindful eating, what we're really talking about, again, is bringing it back down to the core tenets of what we do at Way, which are through three different pathways: through body, feels, emotional eats, and mindful shifts. They all come back down to being able to learn how to listen to the body signals, to the cues, where your hunger is at, where your fullness is at, what movement is doing to you, how it makes you feel, and getting sensitive to that, becoming aware of that. That's the mindfulness. And then using that mindfulness to make the decisions about what you eat. And as you get more clear on that, as you write it down and go through the practice, it does require practice. And it doesn't mean that you can just eat anything and then not even care about how your body feels. You have to listen to the body. But once you understand and go through enough of the repetition and practice of that, you're going to start getting to a point where you intuitively understand what your body wants, what it needs, and what will give you the most, whatever your values are in life. Joy, or maybe you actually, joy is not as important to you right now. What's important to you is getting your job done, or performing well. Well, you can eat in such a way that you can do that, where you can execute at a higher level. Or it can be, I want to be relaxed at night, and so I'm going to eat these things that I found make my body feel more relaxed at night. Beautiful. That's great. That's the entirety of mindful eating. It's very connected to being aware of as much as we can. And this is why it's really a journey of life, really understanding what's working, what's not working, and being curious about experimenting with other things while simultaneously practicing and staying in the practice of listening to the body and applying what the body's telling you intuitively into the decision you're making in front of you. And as you do that, you're going to find so much more, hopefully, again, whether you call it fulfillment or whether you call it wholeness. The root word of health, it actually means whole. And so I cover that in another one of the videos here. But I think that that's super important to understand. Whatever drives you towards those feelings that you want to have, that you think are important in life, those are your values. Then that's what that ultimately this process of learning how to eat mindfully is about. That's the objective. That's the purpose. And so I just wanted to come on here really quickly, give you a little bit of background straight from me, and kind of the perspective of what we've built Way around, what we're here for, and whether you find it through using Way or whether you find it just in using pen and paper, or just practicing wherever it is in your phone. You can do this on your own, but become aware of what you're doing. Write it down, because that's super important for remembering it and creating that practice. And then just see how you change. That's it. So hopefully this has been helpful. Hopefully you're finding a lot of connection, a lot more connection with yourself and what you value, and with your body as well. And so that's all for here. So lots of love to you. Best of luck, and hopefully this has helped with understanding what mindful eating is. Thanks.